I want to tell you about more events. So in case you don't want to wait for yet another year for the next TDozer, then you probably might be joining some of the other events. So I want to give you an idea what the other events are about. I cannot give you a full overview because that's way too much time. So I would like to point out a few of these events. So let me just set up the web thing here because I have a few pages to show to you. So this is basically the contents of my talk, and I hope to be adding all the info that I have to this page so you can read it later on. Basically, if you cannot remember one thing, I hope you can remember my name, because it's as easy as going to Guckes.net, and then you see here's TDozer, and here it says this is my personal page. Click on it. There you go. There's some of the info that we've been adding to, maybe you've seen it, to the wiki page here. This is the one we've been setting up. And yeah, I put all my info there at some time, a few weeks ago. And some people have been adding to that. We've been chatting on IRC about the event. So is anybody here from who's been joining the TDozer channel? Like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Okay, if I add up all the whole half hands, maybe 7 people. But I hope to establish it more like that we will be talking on IRC before the event. And please, if you give out some info about the event, get people to be chatting online with each other so they can get an idea about what's it all about and what is missing on the website or still. Now, TDozer, I could be telling you a lot about this, but you can read it online, so I'll simply skip it. And otherwise, maybe, who knows, not everything is positive, but it's more or less the negative thing says, oh, we could have done with that too, let's do that. Anyway, so I'm skipping that because I hope you shall be adding your feedback to this very wiki page. So as you can see, linuxwiki.de, TDozer 2007, please add your feedback there. Of course, you can also give your feedback to the organizers, who are very clearly visible here. And there's an evaluation form right over there on the table. So please take that and fill something in there too. Right, other events. So let me go back to my little overview here. Let me start. So I've just made a short list of those things I would like to talk about, but I have to skip something like Gießen, practical events, because it hasn't happened yet. I haven't been there yet, but I just want to point out the list here for DE is a little bit longer now, but there's also some events which are not as far as away. There's the FOSDEM right next to you in Belgium, usually taking place at the end of February. It's a very technical event. It's very geared towards developers. You have about a dozen developer rooms meeting. That's for Xorg, for Java, for all kinds of things that are being developed, operating systems, programs, protocols. And it's been around now for a while. And actually this event here was a little bit shaped after that. So I guess this is why TDozer has the T for technical in there. And it's not as technical as FOSDEM, which is good. So one thing I want you to think about is, if you try to do your own event, don't try to copy the others. I don't think that'll work out. Every event has its focus, and FOSDEM is really very technical. And this is also a little technical, but it's nice to actually get in not only the technical people, because we need them too. So But if you should go to Fosden, be aware that it's winter time, it's a little chilly, you need a place to stay. I'm specifically mentioning the word accommodation and travel. These are the second and third most problematic things when you are trying to go to an event. First you're saying, so where is it, how do I get there? It's probably easy to go to the city itself, but then around the city, how do you do that? And where do you stay? Is it at some school? Is it with private people? Or is there some hotel that's been booked for the whole conference? So most people don't go to a conference because, well, there's a hotel, but it costs 50 to 100 bucks a night, so that's not for everyone. So hopefully, if you're helping with an event, hopefully you can help with accommodation. If there's a school nearby that has a gym, maybe you can rent that. That would be a great thing to do. It hasn't happened yet with Fosden, but I would hope they would do this. On the premises, there might be some things, but it hasn't been done yet. I'm skipping from all these things. Accommodation and travel, well, really a stepstone that you have to achieve to get there. But I think the most, it's not the barriers within Europe now that are keeping you from going, it's mostly the language. So when you look up that the language of the conference will be Bulgarian, I'm not sure whether you want to go, but if you see that most people will be talking in English or French or Dutch, then you might be going, right? And there's many projects that are a little bit suffering from the language barrier. So it's a great project, everybody's very happy about it, everybody knows about the project within one country, but outside of that, who knows? They look at the website because they get a hint, but it's in language they don't understand. So what is missing is translation. And I hope today that I can give you the incentive to go to such an event to help translating. So just happen to know one of the languages being spoken there, maybe you can help in advance to translate the web pages to get in some more people. So quite an effort has been done to keep the web pages and this conference in English. Last year it has been a lot more in Dutch. But I was very happy to see and learn that although I'm the only guy in there who didn't speak Dutch, everybody switched to Dutch. So I must thank you all for this. It was very nice. I felt very welcome there. And it's nice of you to switch even more to English. But now the only thing missing from this conference are all the people who might be understanding English and coming in from France, from Belgium, from Germany, and maybe England too. So if you keep it like that and do a little more promotion, I think it might be a bigger place. Huh?
You're not missing. We're here.
You're here?
Yeah.
Yeah, well, okay. Some people. Okay, I'd rather say, okay, we need more than a representative. Maybe a little more. And it's all basically, it's a community thing, I think. So if you can establish some links to the IRC, to be chatting with some more people, and you can give some info about there's a place to stay, and and if you team up early enough, then it's easy enough to get there too. So it helps to do a little more promotion in front. But this is another kind of talk. What can you do for an event to keep improving, to get more people in? But the point of my talk today really is, please try and help. Please come, please cross the border, even if there's another language spoken over there. And the more people are actually coming, the more the mindset of the organizers will change towards what can we do to accommodate people from other countries. So that would be a really nice thing to see, and I hope you get this incentive by me, and I hope we shall be talking after this in front, well, before all of the talks coming on. To make it a little easier for you, I have more info on some other events. And I've also made an overview about the dates coming on. I shall put an extra file into this directory for each of the talks. And there's one, just to show you the one about TIDOs here. Oh, that's got lost. So this is the one I put together for TIDOs. It obviously has to have a title and the dates and the home page of the event. There's some more things to be said about location. There's a street address and also a link to Google Maps, which is so long that I've employed TinyURL to make it a little shorter. And one thing that's usually missing from calendars is the date of the deadline. So that's why I actually put together this calendar as an overview. And for presenting some of the things, well, you need the call of papers, quickly accessible. And what I usually do to announce an event in an email, I put a signature there with the most vital stuff that you should know. Just to show the overview, how it looks like. So it's an ASCII calendar. It's not HTML, it's definitely not Web 2.0. But the nice thing is you can read it almost on any display. So except for some of the very strange characters that we have for letters in Germany, it usually can be read. So it's very basic. So there's a little part for each month and an index number on the other side, on the left-hand side, and there you go. This is the entry for Eindhoven. Right. It's not complete. It's far from complete. It keeps it does a lot of work, and I want to automate it, of course, but I haven't done so yet. I'm not really sure whether I have all the information I have. I will start automizing really when I have more information in such files. I hope you can help, because that's more or less the basis of taking a good look at and giving an overview for all these events. There's a question. Can you use the microphone?
All right. Is this list only based on the events on continental Europe?
Yeah. What's the criteria for the for this list? It's hard to tell because I do not want to cut everything off just because the banner does not look like Web 2.0 on the website or something. But the basis, more or less, is that it's a free and open source thing. The events usually are so open that you don't have to pay an entry fee to get in. It's mostly about community too, so do not expect too many commercial events there. But they are partly commercial. So the bigger events get in some sponsors, and they have talks by the sponsors of some companies about their products. So it goes towards this a little. They are included too. But that's a point, we just have to have commercialism in this somehow to make it to the event scale.
Or more talking about the location.
Our locations. Locations.
I don't see any UK events or American events.
That's true. Well, almost. Well, there's Linux Symposium and from Ottawa, which I put in. This doesn't really fit. My focus is on Europe, and there also should be the UK in it. They recently changed to Linux conference from the UK UUG event, and so it should be in there, just not really added. But the focus is on Europe. So there's also one idea behind that, because some people have been complaining about how to get to this event. It's so far off. Well, it obviously depends on where you start off. But I've been frequently told that Berlin is so far east. Actually, my point of view is I'm from Berlin West, and I'm surrounded by east, so what can I do? Right? It must be east. All around us is east. But funny enough, Poland is so near, but we hardly ever get people from Poland there, and I don't think many of us are going to the Polish events. Guess why? Yeah, it's the language thing. Still, I would like to get all these things in, and as for getting people together, I thought that none of the events really are good for getting all people in from all of Europe, except from one place. I looked at the flight schedules, the maps, and I found that there's an island down there in the Mediterranean where everybody seems to be flying to. That's Mallorca. Now there's something about Germans and crowds who are going to Mallorca which always kept me from going there.
Large amounts of alcohol.
Yeah, much amounts of something, exactly. But still, everybody seems to be flying there, so we've been thinking about setting up an event for meeting there. Mind you, it's not in competition with any of these events here. It's more like get people together event. It's not like setting up for getting all the public that's there and give them education by talks. It's more like get the developers in. Any kind of group that wants to actually meet the others that they're conversing with by email or chat or whatever, get them in so they can actually meet face to face. Tell them about the event early enough so everybody gets a cheap flight there. Provide them with some space to meet in one hotel, get some internet connection, provide a permanent breakfast table, and see if it works. But this will happen next year. The event is not fixed yet, so I stop right here. If you're interested, give me a call. It's not on the calendar, therefore. It's just an idea in our heads, and we look into it. Rather, let me tell you about the events that I've been to. And I had an overview here somewhere, probably went away. So I'm preparing one map on Google, which I still don't know how to really syndicate and be editing collaboratively, but I've been just adding points there. So here we are. This is more or less the overview to the events I've been to. Some of them are even missing, but right. Let me start off by going left to right. From UK. UK has a Unix user group called UK UUG, and they are doing one event each year. They are traveling from university to university. This year they've been to Cambridge, and I sort of missed that, but 2 years ago I've been with the other event in Swansea. And Swansea, well, what is Swansea known for? Exactly. And but there's one thing that you should have seen a few years back when your kernel is starting up. It says something like University of Swansea and quickly scrolls away. So there's this guy, Alan Cox, doing stuff on the kernel, and he's been doing this from there. So that's why you get this tagline about Swansea. It's been taking place at the university and was very nicely organized, also very technical. So I just remember the social event with a talk in the at the local university's Mensa, the lunchroom, big one, on the kernel. And the new kernel maintainer was giving a talk, and I found 2 things he talked about that I briefly heard about. The rest was pure black magic. I have no idea what is going on. But then again, I'm not a kernel guy. Still, it's pretty technical, and you're into this. They have definitely good speakers there. So I think England isn't too far off. Great Britain, that is. So maybe you want to take a look at this. I wanted to briefly look at where it's next year, but never mind that. It will sort of be on the calendar, and you can look up linuxconf.eu. So it will probably change as necessary for the next year. So let me go back. Google Maps is a nice thing, I think. So, however evil that will turn out to be, I have no idea, but it's nice. So let's move a little bit over here, close to this place, also with Amiens, a recent event in France. The event has a long title which abbreviates to rmll.info, and it's easier to pronounce the abbreviation as Armel, a woman's name, and well, you have a iconified woman there who would probably be responding to the name Armel. As you can see here, it's written there, Armel. Now, they've been coming up also, it's not only just a French website, they've also been doing some translation. However, I think they stopped at one point because it became too much and there was not enough feedback from people who actually speak English. So one of the things that you could do as a community, and you probably should, is complain or rather help. So if you have a translation of the text already there, please send it along. Don't just tell, oh, I want to see this translated, but if you can translate, send it along. It probably helps. So it's just taken place, this event, in July, and it will take place again next year. However, it's moving down south from where the event actually came from. They're going down to Mont-de-Marsan, which should be somewhere down here. Let me show you. Just a little bit south of Bordeaux. It might also become Pau, but it's pretty sure apparently that it's going to be Mont-de-Marsan. I think it's very green down there. There you can see Mont-de-Marsan. Right. So I hope you take a look at that too. Nice about this, they get their funding apparently from the state or from the region, so they are trying to keep out the commercialism. So they don't want sponsors who are asking to have a huge stand and booth to present their product. It's very community driven. It's it's very relaxed, and when they started off, also at Bordeaux, Linux User Group, one of the things that should go along nicely with the event was, that's one of the taglines, with wine. So if you enjoy wine and Linux, this might be an event next year. Apparently I'm just picking out a few things. I could present you the whole program that was there, but I think it would take us days to go through that. There's a question.
It's more like a remark. There's some really funny thing about Armel and language. Because I was there some years ago, and because they're funded by the region, everything has it's forbidden to have some presentation or something in English only. Because the French are really picky on their language. And so if there was an English speaker, then there had to be simultaneous translator to French. So one sentence by the speaker, one sentence by the translator.
Well, okay, this is talking about the event as in the previous years, and because they are funded by the state or region, everything should be available in French. And if there was an English speaker, then it should be translated too.
In Belgium as well, because in Belgium, every presentation is going in Dutch and French, not English.
Okay. The funny thing is, let me just repeat the remark just for the stream online.
Yep.
So the same thing is in Belgium. So if the talk is in Belgium, Dutch should be translated. Well, I didn't see that because I've only been to the FOSDEM in Belgium, and it's pretty international, and I think it's just English only almost.
FOSDEM is clearly all in English. And in the French Hong Kong Mondial, it's usually English or sometimes only French. But
could you repeat that to the microphone? It's easier than me to keep repeating. So, going over to Belgium.
Hi,
Most of the talks in Brussels are in English, and those in Rencontre Mondiale are usually English and sometimes French only. But it's the same with German conferences as well. Usually it's English presentations and sometimes there's a German track or a few talks. But usually, if you look at the pretty slides, you get the pictures.
Exactly. So it's not just a thing of one country. Same goes for Germany as well, obviously. Yes, but also with my talk here, like with my invitation for you, I hope that you shall be coming to Germany for the events, asking to help maybe or giving a presentation. And I think the more people would come and try to give a presentation, the higher will be the probability to actually add another track in one language, maybe. There's been some talks in different languages. For one event I will highly recommend, that's the one in Chemnitz, but let me go on a little more geographically. So we had Brussels and Hofen, and there's one in this country being announced outside at a booth, and that's the open community, right? The open wireless community. No, it should have been here, but it's gone. Let me quickly go there. Oh, it's the Open Community Camp. I'm sorry, Open Community Camp. I don't think they have a definite spot yet. Unfortunately, I didn't ask. They do have a definite spot. Okay, so I have to update on that. But it's happening in August, so still some time to get involved. And as long as the people are here, anyone here from this community? No, they're all waiting outside for you at the booth. So please go up and talk to them and see what's going to happen. So apparently it might be happening before the next TDOS. So, oh yes, okay, it says it's in Netherlands and Utrecht. Yeah. And it looks like it's pretty near to Leiden, is it? Yes. So if you zoom in to this a little more, there you go, Leiden. But maybe you should announce Leiden because it's easier to find on a map. No? It's a local thing, I guess. Right. So I can't tell you more than just the date. It's 1 week in August next year. I hope to see you there, maybe. And we move on a little more. Yes, it's easy to move on here to Germany because there's an event happening pretty soon, I guess, in Essen. So if you just hop across the border, you can go to Come to Linux. Unfortunately, it looks like it'll be talks in German only. But hey, do not forget, if you go to an event, you can advertise your own. So take a look at what's happening, how they are set up, how they are doing the talks. Take some notes. And just be there, make contact with them. And who knows, next year you can get together and do even more. So this will be happening in November, second weekend. That's the 10th and the 11th of November. So if you're thinking it's just an hour drive, maybe go and take a look. And maybe to show you the website, there you go. Oops. There you go. This is how it looks like. And here are the talks. And there, you can just scroll down, see what's going to happen. Right, let me go back. So that's pretty soon, in just a few weeks. Try to think about it if you would like to see that. Then going on a little further south to Bonn. Bonn has seen a recent event starting like TDOS, just only a few months before. That's the FrostCon. That's free and open source con, and it shares one common thing with this event here. It was also built after FOSDEM. So it's also getting in technical talks, and it's also at the university, it's at the Fachhochschule. They had a pretty good start, and it's not so far either, so I think we should go there. There's a question.
Yeah, we are not built after FOSDEM, we are unique.
Let me repeat this and say it out loud. This is not here built after FOSDEM, this is a unique event. Alright. Now the FOSCon shares one feature with other events in Germany, and not only Germany, but it's built with a content, no, it's not a content management system, it's a conference system, and it happens to be called Pentavolf. Very strange name. And now, why am I mentioning this at all? I know that each event takes pride in the fact that they came up with their own conference system. But yeah, to make a short story, take a look at the screenshots here in the wiki and see if you think you can meet it. Of course, there's more to be said about this. It's an event of its own, the whole thing, a talk on its own, the whole thing. And Sven Clem is the guy who wrote this stuff. He's from Dresden, and he's connected to the CCC guys, to the case communication club, and that's why they're using it for other events too. They've done the Datenspuren event in May, which is a small event based on security, focused on security, but they also do the Chaos Communication Congress at the end of each year. That's a huge event taking place in Berlin, 4 days, about 120 talks, quite some workshops, and I really want to invite you for that because, wow, it's cool. They're pretty diverse. They have some history in that, and I mean, if there's nothing there that might be interesting you, then I'm wondering why you sit here at all. So it's not just a Linux event. It's not geared toward an operating system and its features for some programs, but it's based on everything that also is connecting to data and networks and computers, but on a different level. There's security, and there's Wi-Fi, there's Bluetooth for that, or RFIDs. It's about the new laws coming up, about anti-terrorism, right? All these kind of things. So if you want to see what people are doing there, please come along. It's at the end of December, the 27th to the 30th of December. And there's one thing I need to tell you about this. If you come there and you're interested in more than just one or two things, it's continuous 4 days. You won't get much sleep. So the best thing that you can do is actually fall asleep on Christmas evening and wake up 2 days later to come to Berlin. You have been warned, right? So, one more thing about the 24th C3, as it we call this year, the 24th Congress. You can apply for a talk, and the deadline is Friday, 2 days ago. So,
they added 2 days.
Again?
They added 2 days.
They added 2 days?
Yeah, so by this evening you should have it.
Exactly. So get online, write an abstract, and send it to them. Right? At first it just takes an abstract, but later on they will be asking for more. So be ready to send them some more. And they usually get something about 250, maybe even 350 entries, and they'll be selecting, well, about 120. So they have a lot of stuff to go through, so please be precise on what you're going to do. And it takes a little getting used to write an abstract, but maybe you will need it. Please send it, please come along, and hopefully see you at the end of the year in Berlin. Another event connected to that was the Chaos Communication Camp, which takes place every 4 years. And well, I'm afraid to say it just happened near Berlin, so you will have to wait for another 4 years for that. But if you want to camp technically with geeks, then you're lucky, because in this country usually there's another event taking place every 4 years. It's What the Heck. That just happened 2 years ago. Well, so in 2 years' time, it should happen here in your country. Don't miss it. I haven't been there, but unfortunately, well, I heard that it's highly dependent, of course, on the weather, and it has been a lot of rain. You can look up the pictures on Flickr, and it was also dubbed What the Rain. But hopefully, yes.
The name changes every time they organize it.
It's a unique event.
Yes.
So it's every time unique with a different name.
Right, with a different name, yes. So what can I do? I don't know its name in 2 years' time, so let me stick with What the Heck, so you can look it up on Google and see what it was like. And if you're early enough, maybe you can give it the name yourself. Just think about what it might be. Right, so some of these events are organized using Pentabar. Maybe it's not the best system, and it's definitely lacking a few features that I would really like to see in that. But, well, there's some people using that. There's actually a community around this, and they are all organizing events. So please take a look at it. Maybe you can make use of that too. So let me go back. Shouldn't just have opened.
Coucou, Sven.
Yes.
If you want to try out Pentabar, for FOSDEM we wrote a Drupal module for it. So lots of websites are managed with Drupal. You can just plug it in.
That sounds very nice. Yes. Also, the Drupal conference was taking part at alongside the FrostCon. I haven't seen any of the talks because I was busy with other things. But as she was pointing out, there's a plug-in for Drupal, so maybe this is the nice combination there. And I hear this conference also employs Drupal. So maybe there's an idea. Please get in touch, talk to each other. Right, I should take a quick look at the time. 10 minutes left? Is that it? Ouch. Because there's a lot more things there. And oops. So let me move on a little more quickly then. Now, there's been a huge event down south here in the south of Germany, which started out at the University of Kaiserslautern, then we moved to Stuttgart, and finally also to Karlsruhe, and been there a few times, then a brief stint here at Wiesbaden, and then big jump to the very far east to Berlin. I'm talking about the Linux Time, which has been on for quite some years, a huge event, and it's not just happening once in Berlin, just now, but they're committed to stay there for a few more years. So I can announce that it will be happening again at the end of May in Berlin. I hope you'll all be coming. And we try to become better in organizing accommodation. So please just get online with us. There will definitely be another wiki page where you can say, I want to come. And the more people are actually entering to that page, then we see that we have a demand for that. And it's also nice to see when you're entering into the wiki that more people around you actually want to come. So there's a good reason to team up, maybe. Teaming up, maybe. I'm skipping really fast now. Is also the point of going to the event that I really, really like, and it's down here at Chemnitz. There's no point in there here yet, but it should be. I think it's the best organized event just after Theodose. And well, there's 2,500 people coming along. It all takes place at the Tech University. They've been doing it for some years, so it must be 9th, 10th? Is it the 10th now? 10th event this time. And they definitely know how to do things. So I'm very happy about the organization. Every time it goes pretty smoothly. They have about 80 talks in all, about a dozen workshops, and some nice things, of course, like catering, it's always nice. And they also look after your children. So if you bring, if this is the steps, if this is the point where you say, oh, I would have to be traveling with my kids almost to Poland, no, almost to Czech Republic, then what am I going to do about them? Well, there's some people taking care of children in an extra room, and it's pretty nice. It's a nice place to stay.
What's it called?
What's it called? It's the Chemnitz Linux Days, and it should be right there. The Chemnitzer Linux Tage. And they've had a website employing blue and yellow all this time, changing a little. And what I really like, for example, is this here, about the talk program. Talk program is very nicely built. Okay, it's a table, obviously, but there's a little star here saying this is for beginners. So it's a visual sign for beginners, makes it easier to see these things. Then about the data that comes from each talk. That might be a document, which is indicated by this document icon, or it might be the audio recording. And when you click on that, you see that the recording is available not only in MPEG in 3 different qualities, but also in ARG. And let's remember, the ARG is the free stuff, right? Just about free. So, but also I like that you can click on these titles and you get an extra page telling you not only about the title again, but the person that's happening and who he is and when it's happening in what room. So I think that's pretty nice. So everybody can point to his own talk to make some more PR about this, and he can add some links to his own website or to his own paper. That's pretty nice. And the best thing is yet to come. You see these radio buttons next to this place, right? So let's click on that, and it becomes gray, the background. And let's not do too many things. At the very bottom, there's one button, and it says create a plan. So there you are. Now you have these 3 things that I clicked on in a very short overview at the very beginning. And you have all the descriptions down below. So you don't have to copy and paste them all yourself. And what's more, you get your own plan ID, which you can bookmark. So your very personal plan is online, and you can recall it simply by keeping a bookmark somewhere on your USB disk or whatever.
Actually, you can download it with an iCal and download it with
Oh yeah, I didn't see, yeah, I keep forgetting this. You can download it as iCal in iCal format. Well, if you know me, then there's one thing I have to say about this. I'm usually used to using cool tools in a terminal environment, which looks like this, right? But there's one thing that's missing. It's a nice viewer for iCal data on the terminal. So if this is going to be a long winter and you are bored, please think about me. I need something to view this nicely on here. There's a Vim plugin that does that? And I don't know about it?
Oi, oi, oi.
Okay.
Let's not mention it. Let's cut this out, okay? Alright, let's talk about this later. I should This is live?
Yeah, it's already gone.
Stop the choice of live. Anyway, so Chemnitz has been surprising me with many things, and I really like them for many reasons, and it's definitely on my calendar. Please let me tell you about, it's happening again on March 1st and 2nd. And we are organizing a bus going from Berlin to that place. So all you need to think about is how do I get to Berlin, which should be, well, not too hard. So you can just enter the bus there and go with us and have some fun for the whole weekend. We are going on Friday, the event is happening Saturday, Sunday, come back with us in the evening. So yeah, it's me organizing this, but the main task has been taken over by Frank. Frank, please stand up. It's the guy who's been talking here just before me. And yeah, we are definitely going there, so please join us for that. Some more I want to talk to you about. Big skip again, I'm going back to the map. It's not just Germany where things are happening. Oh, on the way going south, I have to tell you about. There's also another event happening at the Tech University, but this time it's Dresden. And it's pretty soon too. It's pretty soon too, happening on the 3rd of November. So if you want to try and see how it is, it's about this size from this place. Only have a few people, more people, like 400, 500. And that's my estimate. They're moving into a new building, computer science building, so that could be pretty cool. It's one day, and the nice thing is, if you stay a little longer, if you can stay for the next day, they're usually going out about Dresden town the next day, and I hear they have a nice place to stay to look about for this year. So surprise there. Let me quickly go down to Austria. I have 3 more minutes, but I try to make it really quick. So, Vienna. There's Eisenstadt and here's Graz, and you don't see much more than maybe Linz. It's also a federal state, and the idea of a big event series happening in Austria is Linux Weeks. Linuxwochen.at. The idea is that in every federal state capital, you will have one event, and it's happening somewhere around from March to May, and then there's a camp happening in July. Well, I haven't been to all of them. I've been to Linz, which unfortunately didn't take place this year, but I've been to Vienna again and to Eisenstadt and Graz. So Vienna definitely, let me put this to the end. Eisenstadt is pretty small. Again, it's a tech university and a Fachhochschule, very much compared like to this one. Pretty new too, and it has one speciality the others don't have. It has only one track. Oh, only one track. But the nice thing is, you can't really miss anything. There's no choice to be made. Am I going to this room or going to the other room? Am I going to stay here? They have breaks in between, so there's something to eat there, and it's pretty nice. It's 2 days at the same conference room at the Hochschule, and you can't really miss anything. That's pretty nice. It's just missing your talks. Question?
Yeah, could I suggest Developer Gathering 2 in addition to all you have mentioned?
Okay, a little louder, I didn't get that. Sorry.
Could I, before you are finished, suggest another Developer Gathering 2, because you have 1 minute left?
Oh, so you're taking my last minute there. Yeah. Go ahead.
Okay.
Go on.
We had, for the first time this year, Mobile Developer Days at the Aalborg University. That is most likely to be organized in Germany, one place this year. And it's very interesting because they look 5 years ahead, maybe 10, on what's happening in this research frontier. Together with Nokia researchers, it's focused mostly on free software, and also Motorola is there, and the scientists, together with open embedded developers. So I invite you to come there next year.
What is the website there?
It's now, if you do a Google search, Mobile Developer Days 07, because I don't remember the web address.
Or check the wiki from Open Embedded.
Yeah, wiki.
Like this here?
Hopefully, yeah. That seems to be.
All right then. So I try to keep it in mind. But please remember one thing, I need some feedback, I need some email. Can I have a few more minutes? No? What am I going to do now? There's so much more to be said about. Well, I should be wrapping it up. Let me give you the idea about Austria. So it's a combined event, more or less. People know each other, they definitely do. At Graz really has very good organization too. They have their own website, it's linuxtage.at, happening on 2 days, also at the Fachhochschule, and it's nice down there. It's almost down here at Maribor. It's warmer, it's nice, it's in summer, in May. And Vienna definitely has the biggest event. They used to have 4 days, now it's down to 3, but it's happening right in town in Vienna. So take 1-2 more days to actually see the town go about. You'll be right in town. And also happening this in summer. Might be competing with Linux Tag in Berlin, but I hope you know where to go to, right? And pretty near, in time, let me just point out that at Krefeld, which is somewhere over here, right, I haven't put a mark there yet, but in Krefeld is yet another event, and it nicely fits with what we have on here, which is Ubuntu, right? It's the Ubuntu conference, ubuntucon.de, and it's happening the very next weekend. So I hope you'll be there too. Yes, if you have missed the talk of Sebastian Küchler about KDE4, you will have another chance to see him there and hear him speak. So that's UbuCon happening next weekend. And well, I hope you will be there, see you again. And let me just point out that after the meeting is standing, I would like to, the core team to come up on stage and give some more ideas about things that are still happening today. So thank you for listening. I hope that you can give me some feedback by email or right now. We shall be meeting up later on at the Italian restaurant. And yeah, I welcome you all for that. Thank you for giving feedback.
Okay, Sven, thanks for your talk. First of all, I would like to ask all the green people with the green shirts to stand up for a moment. Yes, these are our great volunteers. They helped us with organizing the event. Some of them were there this year and last year. So I would like to ask you if you can give them a big applause. 2 years ago, 2 guys started this event, Jeroen and Jean-Paul. I still remember our first meeting in the Greek restaurant Ilios. We really didn't know what to expect the first time. First time we had some problems, especially with people actually not showing up. So, but this year we doubled the amount of visitors, and that's thanks to Jeroen and Jean-Paul. They took the risk in the first year to organize this, and I think that's worth a very big applause and maybe a cheer or something. Okay, Jeroen and Jean-Paul, I would like you to come here. Because without those 2 guys, you wouldn't have an event. Because really in the first year they took a really big risk in organizing. So maybe another applause. Who knows?
Well, thank you. It's about let me see, two years ago that I had this idea of why not have something that's just as much fun as Vosdem is to me in the Netherlands. it looks, if you look at Europe, it looks like the Netherlands is sort of a backyard where nothing really happens, and for part you're right. But there's Forza in Belgium, there's a lot in Germany going on, there's a lot everywhere going on, but there wasn't something really big in the Netherlands, so well, why not try that? And I didn't feel like doing this alone. I had a good friend, Jean-Paul, said, well, let's do this together, at least we will have fun. So last year we organized it, and I guess we get some 70 people in here in 2 days' time. Not in here, in another location, which was pretty big. Very big actually, and also very expensive. So that cost us some money. You don't want to know how much, but anyway, we hooked up with the people from this school because they wanted to have an open source event here, just as much as we wanted it. And well, they've been supporting this event a lot. They're not here at the moment, but still we can use their location. So I thank them for letting us do this here. I got just a few things that I would like to ask you all. One is, if you haven't already done so, please take a moment to fill in an evaluation form. I know it sounds dull or bureaucratic or whatever crap you think it is, but we need the input. Is already starting. Anyway, so please take a moment and fill in an evaluation form. On that form also is the question, if you want to volunteer next year and help us out, you get one of those great looking lime shirts for free. But anyway, we want to scale this event. We've doubled the amount of visitors this year compared to last year. We want to do that again and again and again. So in a few years' time, we've got 5-6 billion visitors, possible. And you know how it is with exponential growth. But by the time, we definitely need some volunteers. You know, otherwise we have to hire the whole of China. You know? So think about it if you want to become active and what you would like to do. Please let us know. It's on the evaluation form as well. So please do that. The other thing I want to ask you is, we have to leave this building exactly at 7. So, although it's been very much fun, please go. I don't know how it sounds, but I mean, help us all clean up the mess, put everything back like the way we found it on Friday, so that we'll be welcome next year again here. That would be nice, you know. And to me, these 2 days, I'm pretty exhausted actually, but they were really fun, and I thank you really all for coming. It's great, really is great. Well,
I have. I'm going to sit. Now, I especially also want to thank all the sponsors we had. Because you forgot that.
Yeah.
Our main sponsor this year was Atos Origin, and for the rest we had some other sponsors like Red Hat, iBuildings, 2Value, Fred Moba, Fontes High School, Nigio, and the OSPC, LPI, and NLUG, and also NLG have sponsored and donated some money. And also especially thanks to all the people who bought bread, sandwiches, Snickers, and t-shirts, which is all of these visitors, because without you we wouldn't organize this. Thank you very much. It's so nice to you.